Here's the briefing on David Gates, like you ask, sir. He promotes a non-traditional understanding of the Trinity that places him outside official Seventh-day Adventist doctrine. His core teaching is that the Father is the ultimate source of divinity, and that Jesus is the only begotten Son, in a literal, ontological, and pre-creation sense. Gates teaches that at some point in eternity past, Christ came forth, or was brought forth from the Father, receiving life, authority, and identity from him. While Gates insists this occurred before time, and does not make Christ a created being, he still describes the Son as deriving his existence from the Father rather than possessing natural, unborrowed, underived life in himself from all eternity. This places Christ in a subordinate role regarding origin, not merely in function. Gates argues that the Holy Spirit is a separate divine being, but he describes him in ways that imply functional dependence on the Father and Son rather than co-eternal self-existence. His formulation attempts to preserve three divine persons, but it dismantles their equality of nature and eternal sameness of existence. Gates frames his view as a return to historic Adventism, pointing to early pioneers such as James White, Joseph Bates, and Uriah Smith, who initially held semi-Arian views. He argues that the modern SDA doctrine of the Trinity is a later adoption influenced by creedal Christianity. He rejects the idea that the Son is eternally self-existent without derivation from the Father, claiming this undermines the biblical meaning of begotten. Gates affirms that the Father and Son are united in character, purpose, and divinity, yet his explanations clearly place the Father as superior in rank and origin. This distinction directly conflicts with the official SDA fundamental belief that all three persons are co-eternal, co-equal, and uncreated. Gates' mission is to convince Adventists that understanding the literal begottenness of Christ is essential for a correct picture of God's character, end-time preparation, and true biblical faith. He views the orthodox Trinitarian formulation as a philosophical corruption that obscures the relational dynamic within the Godhead. His teachings have led to significant controversy because they replicate the subordinationist theology that Adventism deliberately abandoned more than a century ago.